Hey everybody, welcome to Game 2 of the Starmaster vs. CyberOdin series in Round 1 of CALLOUS Invitational 4. In the first game, spoiler alert, you saw Starmaster bring a pretty typical TSS team, and his Gengar was able to clean up the likes of CyberOdin's offense pretty easily. So going into this second game now, let's see how this goes. Can have another T-Tar lead from Starmaster, CyberOdin on the top right. We are going to have another T-Tar lead from CyberOdin. Looking like a different team just due to the fact that it's China. We are going to see a Swampert revealed, and that's going to be able to pretty comfortably, force out the T-Tar. Skarmory coming in, getting immediately critical hit by the Hydro Pump out of the Swampert. So it looks like this series is going to be really pretty because there's certainly been some very game-defining crits so far, and that Skarmory going down to 35% before you can even get a single spike up is certainly going to be important for the likes of Starmaster not being able to play the game the way that he wants. So we are seeing a Blissey coming out now, and it almost looks like the exact, it does look like the exact same team so far. Swampert revealing Focus Punch, so it is going to be offensive. However, there's a Zapdos. This is definitely a different team, and another critical hit coming out of the Swampert. That's going to take 50% off of Zapdos' health. Already pretty big. So Swampert really put in his work. Blissey going to be coming in and taking a Toxic from Zapdos. Nothing else that this Zapdos really does, unless it's packing like a Drill Peck or an HP Fighting, should really be able to threaten the Blissey particularly hard, as Blissey is going to throw out a Thunder Wave onto the Skarmory. So that's not what the Skarmory wants to see. Now it's going to be even more difficult for it to try and get those spikes up, but that's probably not going to stop Starmaster. We're going to see Blissey swap out, revealing a Cloyster, which is a fun pick comparatively. Skarmory getting full paired on the first turn that it tries to set up spikes. Not going to be able to set it up. And Cloyster is going to be, sort of setting up spikes in tandem with it. So, it's not going to be the advantageous situation that it was a second ago. However, Skarmory's still getting a lot of leftovers healing. And CyberOdin acknowledging that as well. Going to throw out a Surf and knock off about half of what the Skarmory had before. Skarmory getting up a second layer. And considering what we can see on CyberOdin's team, these spikes are going to be pretty important. Skarmory getting full parrot again. Cloyster not getting punished for throwing out that Surf. Still going to be even on spikes. And it does reveal a Rapid Spin as well. Critical hit, obviously not important, but just shows he's kind of getting lucky in this game, in this second game. Not to say that he's doing poorly or anything. So it's going to be only one spike on CyberOdin's side now. Cloyster throwing out another Surf, and Skarmory gets full parrot again. That is not what you want to see. Skarmory now in kill range from Surf, and Surf is going to kill. And we're going to see Starmaster bring Zapdos back in. Zapdos immediately going to force out the Cloyster, I would imagine. Probably bring back in the Blissey. Yeah, Blissey does come back in. And Starmaster actually clicking Roar, which is going to force CyberOdin to reveal another Mon, and he does reveal a Gengar. Gengar obviously not concerned about the spike. However, it is going to be concerned about any possible spinner that Starmaster could have in the back. Gengar going to click Ice Punch, not doing too much damage. However, with the spikes, it's starting to, get some good chip going. Cloyster going to come back in now. Probably look to get up a third layer, possibly throw out a Rapid Spin. So if Blissey has anything to not stop it, but at least pressure it, this is surely the time to show it. We're going to see a Gengar coming out from Starmaster. However, Odin's going to get his third layer up. He does guess correctly on that front. And this Gengar is going to be kind of threatening to what we've seen so far from CyberOdin. However, it's going to miss its first Will-O-Wisp on the Blissey. That would have been some pretty important incremental damage going into the rest of this game, because not a whole lot else on CyberOdin's team really has that sort of longevity yet. Although Gengar has Taunt, and that is going to halt that longevity regardless. So Blissey no longer able to heal up as it wants to, and it's going to keep getting chipped down by whatever comes in. And it kind of needs to keep coming in on this Gengar, because nothing else, assuming we don't know what those two attacks are, it certainly doesn't look extremely offensive. I would, expect Ice Punch, Thunderbolt, just Bolt Beam coverage or something. But Swampert taking a Focus Punch, getting a pretty big chunk taken off, still going to pressure out this T-Tar. As I was saying, this Gengar is going to be a pretty immediate threat to everything that's shown on Odin's team. However, Starmaster reveals a Flygon, and it does have leftovers. So while it does take 50% from the Swampert, it's still going to be, faster. It's going to be able to threaten some of what we see on Odin's side. Does whiff on an Earthquake as Gengar comes in. Still don't know exactly what Odin has for his last. I would expect an Electric type. Blissey coming back in from Starmaster, getting critical hit by an Ice Punch. Going to be able to take this opportunity to soft boiled up as Cloyster comes back in. And does he want to try and get the Rapid Spin off here? This is the Rapid Spin Spikes mind game. No, he does click Surf, and Starmaster does not switch the Blissey out. And then Blissey clicks the Thunder Wave, and that's really going to hurt the Cloyster. Because not only do you have to worry about whether the Gengar is going to come in or not, but now you have to worry about whether you can even get your attack off. As Gengar comes in now, and Cloyster clicks Surf again, going to do a good chunk. That is certainly not irrelevant damage in the long run. However, you'd think that Blissey has to come back in, as CyberOdin does go to it. Blissey's now going to get Will-O-Wisp by the Gengar, finally going to hit, and that's really going to start racking up the damage, because we know what the Gengar is clicking next turn. He's going to click that Taunt. Blissey is going to do another pretty chunk with Ice Beam, getting Gengar kind of low. This is in the range where a lot of attacks are going to threaten it, so Starmaster's going to have to be smart on when he brings it back in. I was about to say if he swaps it out, but Tyranitar comes back in, taking a lot of damage from Spikes and from the Seismic Toss. Maybe, I don't know what he was expecting there. I don't know. Maybe I'm not giga-brained enough to understand what was going on there, but you'd think that Blissey would have just... I don't know. I don't know what Starmaster was expecting there, but he does take out the Blissey. Flygon coming in on the Zapdos, gonna whiff on the Thunderbolt. Excuse me, that is a Zapdos revealed, by the way. And considering what we've seen, I would not be surprised if it had HP Grass. CyberOdin's Gengar are going to take 40% from that Rock Slide. It can take another couple, so it certainly has the ability to stay in if it wants to. However, it is going to swap out as Flygon clicks Protect, scouting for what attack the Gengar wants to use. However, what does this Zapdos have that wants to threaten it? It looks like nothing. It looks like it was just... Okay. Swampert taking just a light attack from that Rock Slide. Not going to do too much. However, it is going to not be able to... CyberOdin was really trying to string together this sequence of plays, and I'm not 100% sure what the outcome is. Was it just to get the Gengar back in? Because he had it in 4 turns ago. Flygon's going to be forced out. Gengar clicks Ice Punch. Blissey currently down to about 53%, and I don't think that Odin's Gengar necessarily has a taunt the way that Starmaster's does. So we're going to be able to see Blissey heal up here. And Odin's going to try and get this Spike out of here one more time. Or he's going to click Surf again, because I think Surf would possibly kill Gengar here. Blissey going to click Seismic Toss. And Cloyster gets paralyzed. Not ideal, not what you want to see. But, you know, people have... In the long run, it's certainly not the worst. It's not unsalvageable. Swampert going to come back in from CyberOdin, and what is his game plan here? We know it has Focus Punch, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't want to take a Focus Punch. So Swampert going to click an Earthquake, doing a light 33% to Blissey, and Blissey taking Swampert down to 1%. Thank God for those leftovers. Not gonna, maybe he gets he gets another turn here, and Swampert clicks the Earthquake again, whiffs on the incoming Flygon. And looking at this entire bottom row from Starmaster's team, Earthquake is really not a super favorable play for him at the moment. There's certainly plenty that can come in, and he's got, he can work his way around on what he thinks is coming in and manage the different attacks he thinks come out, as Gengar is going to throw out an Ice Punch and take down Starmaster's Tyranitar. And all of a sudden, this Gengar looks pretty threatening with just the Ice Punch, really. So Tyranitar going to come in now, take the Spikes. Blissy's going to hit a soft-boiled. And what is this? This Tyranitar swapped out on turn. So we don't really know exactly what its game plan is outside of, yeah. It's going to click a Focus Punch, which going to do a critical hit. So that's another crit for Odin this game. And that's going to do a lot to Flygon. However, he actually decides to stay in. I was going to say he doesn't really want to stand on Flygon, but he does decide to stay in. Going to hit a Crunch, and that's going to take the Flygon down. Blissey doesn't want to take these spikes when it comes in because the Tyranitar is still up. So Zapdos now in. And what does Odin have to respond to the Zapdos? It's taking the 12% from the spike, going down to 1%, and possibly the greatest hidden power that has ever hit a Swampert, doing 1% to take it down. Super effective. That's that important 4 times weakness you're seeing right there. Gengar comes back in from CyberOdin. Gonna swap in the Blissey from Starmaster. Pretty comfortable. You've been seeing this all game. So if CyberOdin has any sort of extra game plan, he's only revealed Ice Punch. It's turn 50. He's only ever clicked Ice Punch on that Gengar. So if he's been trying to condition Starmaster, bait out some kind of prediction with that Gengar, you're really coming up on the time when you want to use it. So Tyranitar is now in Rock Slide mode. Clicking the Rock Slide did pretty good damage to Blissey, but he's going to need to hit a flinch here if he wants to make it really matter in the long run. So that's 38%. Get a bit of a high roll there, and he does not get the flinch. Blissey's going to take down T-Tar, and while it does look not ideal for Odin, you know, the Blissey is low, the Gengar is primed to do a lot of damage, and the Zapdos is still at full health, and it reveals Drill Peck, which is going to take down the Blissey without too much of an issue. So we kind of have this Gengar-Zapdos mirror, and I think that's very interesting that this is the last 2 for both teams, or for both players, excuse me. Zapdos is going to do 52% on a Thunderbolt, whereas Odin Zapdos is going to just drop Starmaster Zapdos, so it's just down to the Gengar. Gengar should be able to take down this Zapdos. However, Odin's Gengar is at 60%. That's going to take 1 hit, whereas 38% is not as favorable for Starmaster. So it's looking good for Odin here in this second game. However, you know, critting one thing, stranger things have happened. As Gengar goes down to 1%, and Odin's Gengar goes down to 13% and gets paralyzed. So thank God for the sand. And that is going to be Odin taking game 2 of this series.